再上啊！快点，来不及了，快！是不是来不及了？快2点了。啊？我的。哦。
嗨。
你把那个摄像头打开，然后把名字改过来。
等我一下。
然后那个下个 record 看到没有 ？record 的话，你要点完以后，你按左边的那个pause 暂停就好，不要给它点停止，不要点 stop。然后游戏可以不用其实你是连着的啦，那你就直接按那个就好，你就直接按 record 就可以。
自己按，现在按吗？
差不多现在可以，然后你等会自己剪就可以。
嗯。
哪里那个备注要改啊？你要 rename 你自己。
我还。
哦，对，
不可以分享画面。
对，等一下，可以了。OK， 你放第5天，你赶紧把那第5天的顺序我看一下啊，5天第5天，然后下一张。
下一张。
你放全屏，你放全屏 full screen。
好。
OK， 然后下一张。
好。
然后再下一张，好就可以，到这边就是最后的东西。对 ，OK， 可以。
我加了一个 never can 的。
可以 ，never can 我们到时候看吧。可以的话，我会偷偷跟你讲。你现在放 day 5就可以 ，OK， 放这里，然后我等会放他们进来。那你现在开始 record 吧。
好。是云端录制吗？
或者你在你的 computer， 它自动你退出去，它到时候最后会convert 完之后的话，自己在你的电脑上面剪成2段就可以，因为你有2个 session 嘛，剪成2段给我就可以。
好。
你不用发给我，你就可能放在一个什么 Google Drive、OneDrive 这种东西，然后我可以自己运看就可以了。
好。
那就可以。现在他们人在外面，让他们先等一下了。我看 speaker 来了没有？
我放了一个。
先等一会儿。这个我来放，我等我来放。
好。
你的那个备注还没改。
哪个备注？哦，好。 Our program will start soon. Please wait. So it's 2 p.m. now. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 5th day of Global Youth Venture. I'm today's MC Harry from City University of Hong Kong. I'm also an intern at Mainland. Today we have 4 sessions: Executive Dialogue, Future Ready Workshop, and Closing Ceremony, and Networking session. The first session is Executive Dialogue. Today's speaker is Yvonne. She's a seasoned educator, program manager, and tech leader with 7-year experience across the APAC. She is success in developing, visualizing scale programs with keen focus on results and owning end-to-end execution. Currently, she works at Amazon Web Services to lead several projects, from establishing a talent pipeline framework for AWS data centers to nurturing the audiences in the talent pool and design career developments for data center engineers. Prior to that, she led the strategy as Facebook business education team covers Greater China and Southeast Asia markets, Japan, India, and Australia, and coordinated certification programs across Asia Pacific. She held full-day workshops, breakout sessions covering all Facebook solutions, and reached a total audience of more than 5,000 of Facebook's top-tier agency partners across 11 countries. Before her time at Facebook, she worked at Belong in talent development and led to the career development project for 1,300 staff. Let's welcome Yvonne. Okay. Seems our speaker hasn't arrived, so let's wait for a while.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Yeah, I'm Yvonne. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to do a sharing session today. Yeah, sorry, I just finished my meeting. Yeah.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. So how should I start? Eric, maybe you can guide me.
Yeah, you can just share a screen. Yeah, we already have an introduction.
I stop my sharing first.
Okay. I will take over from here. Sorry. Hi guys, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, thank you so much for the confirming, Harry. So firstly, I would like to give a self-introduction. My name is Yvonne, and I'm currently working at AWS for our infrastructure program manager role. So I'm actually a seasonal educator, and as you can see, I put over here buyer interest here is like I'm program manager and tech leader with 7 years experience across the Asia Pacific region. So majority of the time, like I was working with Greater China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and also like Japan, Korea, Australia, India, and Southeast Asia. So along my career way, I'm actually success in like developing, operationalizing scaled programs. For example, like some of the training programs targeting media creative agencies and like to helping their advertising business. And now I moved to AWS. It's more like focusing on the engineer education and to helping to grow more cloud engineers. My program normally is like starting from strategy planning until the end-to-end executions. So something more about myself is like right now, like as I mentioned, I'm with AWS. It's more like creating a talent pipeline for the cloud engineering, starting from sourcing, and then like I put them in the nurturing training programs till like we assessing them and to make sure that they along with us and they have their own career development, which is really suitable for them. Prior to that, I was a leader strategy at Facebook. So I was doing it's more like marketing wise, but it's more like marketing education. So the team I was with called Facebook Business Education. I used to cover Greater China, Southeast Asia, Japan, India, and Australia for the training side. And there is a certification side, which is an exams for advertiser. Then I cover the whole Asia Pacifics. I used to hold full day workshops, breakout sessions, and then covering around 5,000 Facebook top tier agency partners across 11 countries, including the CEOs, CTOs as well. Prior to that, I was with a French company called Bolloré Logistics. So I spending 2 years on talent development, and another 2 years prior to that, I was doing a quality assurance for pharmaceutical products. Yeah, that's like how my professional journey looks like. My personal passion is more towards to making a world a better place through education and tech. This is something I definitely believe in. Or I can see your smile, Eric. And then like more to that is like diversity and also inclusion in workplace to create a better workplace. So I believe like everyone, we can contribute a part. Aside from this, it's like empowering companies and entrepreneurs with skills and knowledge to grow their business. That's why I really enjoy my work like as an educator along the way. And I wanted to sharing like my experience with all of you as well. So something to starting, before I start like some of the projects I was doing at AWS, maybe I can share some of the fun career like development sessions for starting from the journey after graduation. Yeah, so it's like more like engaging session. But like before I starting that, any questions from you guys? Anything like you guys want to know or like prior to that, or I can just stop? Okay, I take silent as no question. Very happy to start introduction first. So after I graduated from a school at UK, I moved back to Singapore. And then I started my career starting from the QA, quality assurance at the pharmaceutical industry. So when I first started my job, I feel like this is so challenging. It's not because like how the work is complicated like towards to me. It's more like there is a lot of terminology I never see like my entire life. I remember like the longest letter, there is the longest word I ever seen have 27 letters that I asking my colleagues at that time, is that really a word? Is that a sentence? How should I pronounce that? Something like this. So 2 years there is definitely very interesting. I got to know a lot of like the standard, international regulation standard, and also like ISO standards for the pharmaceutical products and also the machines, which is right now hot topics now. Then I decided to like moving my career towards to other direction, because in that 2 years I realized the most enjoyable session is like to deliver trainings to my folks. Every time when I revise the working procedure, I'm very happy to deliver training to them in both Mandarin and English. And the engagement with all the audience, I feel very satisfying. And more than that, it's just like I feel like I sharing something like really helps others and they really learn something. So I was talking to my boss at that time. I think, oh, QA is not my passion. Maybe my passion is somewhere else. So he was like, oh, then I think you need to deep dive and to think about it. Like, what's your really passion really are? Like, how do you want to plan in your career? So I took a few career tests and realized I'm actually a suitable coach and also educator and a strong communicator and connector. So I was browsing like all the roles opening at my previous company. I'm like, okay, I think I can go to HR to be a talent development. And then like after I made through rounds of the interview, I successfully internal transfer. When I transferred to the new team, I have the chance like to design the career development plans for 1,300 staffs. So that's a very exciting job. I'm like, oh, where should I start? Then I'm like so hesitating, asking my managers for advice. So she was like, I think you need to do a top-down funnel. So starting with those top senior management in the company to understand like what's the business requirement. And then you moving downwards to each of the departments, talking to the managers, supervisors, seniors in the teams, and to understanding what's their current like knowledge and skill gaps. And then you need to brainstorm how can we close the gap. So that's how I start my journey, like officially in training education. I really like so exciting interview like all the senior management from different functions. So for example, finance, when they're talking to me, I'm totally lost. I guess that's like a new language to me. And then like procurement, human resource. So like after understanding the business view from them, the business objective, so I come to all the managers and to asking, okay, so what's the perspective, like what kind of talents you're looking for, or like what kind of talents that you think your team might need. So they gave me like some different insights. Then I realized, okay, in between from the manager and them, so the senior management and the manager, there is a gap inside in between. So I jot down this, and then I move on to the supervisors. So supervisor also provide me like a different point of view. From them, it's more like a hands-on personnel. So they view things like from a hands-on perspective. Then I talking to the ground staff. So everyone gives me a very new perspective of view of different vertical, how we call this, or like departments. So basically what I do is like I need to organize all the notes and then like to pull up a pipeline for each of the department function and to understand how is the career growth for each of them. After I did this, I visited all the head of the departments to presenting to them to make sure I deliver the same message they wanted, like from their point of view, like, and it's aligned with the business needs. It's both like we want to develop the staff, at the same time we want the business grow, right? So with the confirmation, we want to do this like training development in a very transparent way. So I organized different meeting sessions with the entire 1,300 people to do like a go by department. So I presented to them, oh, this is like how your career development plan looks like. So you might have like more than one strategist. You can work in various ways. How do you think? Something like that. So they gave me a really good response, and they telling me like before the presentation and before the sharing, they didn't even realize where is exactly the gaps between them from the current skill set or the knowledge they require for the current job. And with the expectation the manager might have, or like they wanted to achieve higher in the career ladder. So right now they have a more clear mindset now where they should working on, and it's more like relies on both sides. One is from the employer, they're willing to grow the talents, nurturing the talents. The other side is from the current themselves, how they work hard, and they know like what are their strengths and what are the shortfalls and how should they improving. So through these projects, I think everyone's really happy, and like they know like a clear way for them like to plan their career ahead. So with that, I found like training and sharing information is my true passion. Then I moved to Facebook. So Facebook, I hold a different role. Instead of like deliver training and career progression with the internal, I explore to external. So there is a side job here. While I apply in the Facebook role, I misunderstanding the role itself. From the job description, it initially called learning and development partner. It sounds very HR. It's just an educator. I'm very happy apply. So during my first round interview with my previous boss, which is the global head of that department, he told me, actually, Yvonne, I read your resume. Your experience are totally irrelevant from what we are looking at. So I told him, no, cannot be. Because I came from educator background, so at least there is something like resonate together. So supposed to have something like similar, right? And I think I'm the person you're looking at. So he started to explain to me, oh, this is instead of like delivery education for internal staff, this is towards to media creative agencies, resellers, those like whoever advertisers who use Facebook platform to run their business. And they wanted to like do advertisement on Facebook and to see the money result. So I'm like, oh, that's something new, but sounds very exciting. So he told me like, oh, why not like you share with me a simple presentation? I want to see like how you deliver training. So it's more than just a training role, but like training definitely part of your job scope. So I'm like, yeah, sounds very exciting. I just do like 5 minutes brief. Then I do a training, like very short training to him. He's very satisfied with my training delivery skills. So he's like, okay, although like, I feel like you are zero relevant to this role, but I still want to move you to the next round interview. I wanted to wait like all the peers, all the panel interviewers saying like about your performance. After 6 rounds of interview, eventually I got the role. But to be very honest, at that time, I still don't really understand what he's trying to talk about. Like my background is zero relevant to the role, because to me, that's a trainer role. It's until I joined the company, joined Facebook. So the first 2 weeks are very exciting. Actually, my hiring manager is not around. He's always traveling. He was at States. So I had a very chill time to get to know the pantry, the cafeteria, do the site visit, do a lot of like free stuffs. So on the 3rd week, he came back, he flew back to Singapore. So he was like, Yvonne, why not we have a one-on-one to discuss like your upcoming projects, which is very exciting. So I'm like, oh, how exciting. Yeah, sure, why not? So when he did the one-on-one interview session, no, it's not interview, like meeting session with me, he told me, I share with you one very excited experience. You are traveling to Beijing and to representing the whole team to do a 2-day workshop, and the audience will be 10K. So I'm like, wow, I'm very new to Facebook and I don't even know your products well. So what if like I travel over? Yes, definitely I can follow the scripts to do presenting the breakout session to all the audience. But what if they ask me question? I definitely looks very dumb there. So he's like, oh, I think you're very smart. You can pick up there. And because like this is Beijing, they speak Mandarin. And he's Italian. I don't speak Mandarin. So I think you are the better person to travel. And you are the only person in Asia Pacific can speak Mandarin. With that, I'm like, oh, so nervous. So I started my first business trip like to China. Before that, a lot of preparation was doing. So I did a heavy research on what is advertisement, who are the audience, how's the Facebook business model. So finally, I realized, okay, I joined more than just a social media network company. I thought it's just like a networking, connect people together. Oh, actually, it's running business through the advertising that I come to Beijing. So before I start my session, I'd be very frankly telling all the audience, I'm very sorry. So I'm very new to the company. I'm very excited to share like some of the new functions offering education program. We wanted to grow the reseller and the agency's business at China. So we wanted to provide some training to our partners to share with them how to use Facebook to do advertisement, But at the same time, I need to be very honest. I'm not an expert, and I just have a 3 weeks experience. You guys might have an even more years experience compared to me and knowing about Facebook. But if you guys ever have any question, here's my email. So please email me directly. I will make sure I reply you or like send you the POC to follow up with you. Like that's my strategy, and it works really well. And I'm very happy to say that even in the sharing session, the breakout, some of the questions I really unable to answer. So I just note down. But other guests, they might have a longer partnership with Facebook. They know the answer, so they help me to answer it. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy about like the business trip experience, learn a lot about the company, products, and also like build a really good in-person partnership with those clients and agencies. So after that, I moved back. Also with my own experience, I understanding like how important it is for agencies to really know the products before they can trying to think about ROI and making money from it. So I was very passionate about my programs there, which is like to push out for the workshop. So it's like 1-day workshop to training agencies about some basic skills of how to use Facebook products, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, some of the tricks, and also sharing some of the industry insights, more than just what we do, but also how our Google practice, TikTok practice, Twitter practice, Snapchat practice. Yeah, there are so many players, major players among the industry. But I didn't share about AWS practice. So I only get to know Amazon is also a strong player for advertising after I joined AWS. Yeah. So like that's how we do it. Aside from just deliver training, pushing for the workshop, I also like helping to drive the certification programs across Asia Pacific, which is like similar to Google. There is a very famous certificate called Google AdWords, Google Ads. So Facebook have another certificate called Facebook Blueprint. So we wanted to have more audience like get Blueprint certified. Also, it's a great channel like for everyone to get to know the product itself and to gain the accreditations starting like from you gain the certification itself. So that's a very interesting experience to drive in the certification. I need to work with internal sales team. At the same time, I need to work with like oh someone was telling me I stuck here. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, thank you. So because I was receive a ping saying, oh, seems like you stuck. I'm like, oh, where did I start? Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So that's a very interesting journey because I realized even though different departments in the same company, they wanted to achieve the same goal, but they might have other goals for the own departments to achieve. So just a very simple example. So when I was with Facebook, it's more like educational role. And like I work with the agencies, but we also have a sales team works directly with agencies. So how the collaboration between marketing, education, and sales is like we need to identify who are the top clients we want to focus on, and like for different tier of the agencies, we need to developing a different funnel education system for them. So for those big players, they are already very they are like the master cream of crop, knowing like how to use different platforms to do advertisement in the business. But for those who are the small players, they maybe the new players in the market, they just started. So there is no systematic way to train them, to share with them like how to use Facebook to do go exporting business, which is a huge trend now. Advertising go export. So we actually draw out the funnel with the whole Asia Pacific based on different country, and there is a different vertical industry focus. So with that, we invited like all the sales team to talk to the clients. We wanted to engaging with them on some of the sessions, deliver training, and after that, we provide them with exam vouchers to have them pass the Facebook Blueprint certification. To me, like this should be a very smooth way to do it. So with that, the agencies get to know better about how to use our products, so they can achieve a better ROI. They can helping their clients place the ads on the right way and at the right time. At the same time, for themselves, for those agency staff themselves, they get the certification, which is like a self-development for themselves as well. However, the journey wasn't being so smooth. So different countries have a different practice, starting from India. So India is a country, whenever I working with them, always very interesting. How I communicate with them in the meeting, they will always agree. We always set an agreement. But when it comes to the real work practice, it always like have a different practice. So what we need to do is like right after the meeting, sync up with them. We provide a brief to them to show the partners in India what we really want and what is the end result. And we need to like follow up with them really closely. Every week need to follow up with them on the meeting, calls, and also emails to get to know like how's the status, how did they executing the programs, and also we wanted them to show us like how it looks like in India. And I need to make a few trips to India as well. So travel to Gurgaon, Mumbai, and New Delhi, and to make sure like the execution was as our requirement, and they can deliver the result together with us. Yeah. And for some of the country, for example, like Southeast Asia, always very passionate about like collaborating, but there is a huge barrier, is the language. A lot of people in Southeast Asia, aside from Singapore and Malaysia, majority of them are no English speaker. So they have their first language, like for example, Thai, for example, Bahasa. Whenever we communicate with them, it takes some time for them to understanding the message we want to delivering, and for the products we wanted to sharing with them, especially some of the insights, which is very relevant to the company. And for some of the places, for example, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China, China is the biggest headache because there is a restrictions for Facebook to directly place ads there. We heavily rely on the agencies to helping us to place the ads and go exports. However, there is a lot of violation accounts here. So whenever we see there is a violation, the accounts might be closed or delayed. And we need to provide education to them to increase their awareness. For Hong Kong, Taiwan is much better. Hong Kong is good because they can speak English well, but Taiwan is also the language is a barrier. They still prefer like we speaking Mandarin to them, so it's easier for them to understand. And different market, we have a different concentrate on the verticals. So for example, for Hong Kong is very strong on the professional service. But for Taiwan, is 80% advertising goes to the e-commerce, and the gaming industry is a very key player for Taiwan market as well. For Greater China, is a mix with e-commerce, travel, and gaming. Gaming is like a rising star right now for Greater China. For Japan and Korean, the focus is more towards to the industry. For example, like actually dating is one of the hot industry for Japan. And then like for those comic, is like also another hot industry for Japan as well. And also vehicles, cars. And for Singapore and Malaysia, Singapore is e-commerce focused. Malaysia is more like on vehicles. Different place, there is a different focus. So this kind of insights, we will also need to do a report and understand like what are the most up-to-date information and sharing, keep our partners up to date. Yeah, that is something very, I would say really interesting, like how we do like the partnership with the partners across the Asia Pacific. So different places have a different practice. Then with that, I think I have too much traveling with Facebook. So that's a reason I wanted to find a more localization role and to focus on a new industry. So I moved to AWS. I moved to AWS is more like doing the training and certification. So still continuing on what my expertise is, but like we focus on different audience. So this is a data maybe I can share like with you guys. As you guys can see like from the screen, it's a comprehensive training plan like how we believe here at AWS is help you transform your workplace. There is a recent search by Aberdeen shows like comprehensive cloud training and certification adds a business value, increase the staff productivity, reduce the time slot, and also we hire the right talent, we train the right talent, grow the right talent, will eventually help the whole organization accomplish the cloud projects. Particularly, like for example, we focus on cloud enablement, expand versatilities, and also display. So from the study, we can find out actually the best-in-class company, for example, the top 20% are see far better advanced in metrics that like both directly and indirectly relate to the success of a cloud skill. So that's why right now we are pushing for the cloud skill enablement programs to improve on-time cloud projects completion and also the time for new hires to working at a full capacity steam directly for the like quality of the skills building opportunities. So there is for this, like what we want to achieve is like ultimately affects the overall revenue by getting more projects out of the door and also as far as possible. And also we want to gain our staff as well as external like more skills about knowing cloud computing. Company like we believe should establish a plan for reaching the best-in-class levels of performance in investing in the high-quality, comprehensive, and cloud skill enablement programs. So this is like the programs that I'm working on right now. Okay. So the firstly, like there will be a journey of like planning a continual journey in the cloud influence. So the very first is really simple. Let's talk about like how a customer build the cloud skills they need. It's like define the measurement objectives, and then you need to identify the cloud skill gaps across the organization. It like organization, teams, and individuals. So like what I'm sharing in my first experience, I had to do the career development plans. We also do through a top-down approach, starting from get to know the business needs, organization needs, going to the different department, teams, and then we came to the individual at the later time. Next, we will actually implementing the comprehensive training program that offers various modalities to address a different learning preference. So it's more like the tailored training plans to our audience to make sure they can learn well and absorb it. The lastly is like we measure and validate the skills and refresh the plan by going back to assess the learning requirement. And also we always wanted to revisit to see like how is the ROI on our achievement. So we can take a deep look on this like progression and like to see like the whole journey. This is like how the journey looks like. Okay. Next, like it will be the learning needs analysis. So this is actually very important part, because I know we don't have so many times today, so I just do some quick checks, sharings on this to you guys. So we need to identify the skill gaps and early. That's the first thing to do, like identify the gaps. And then we, based on the gaps, we want to tailor and develop some programs match the needs. So this is how we do a learning needs analysis with AWS. AWS training and certification, like normally we work directly with the team. So internally, but also externally to build a data-driven training plan tailored to the requirements for the organization. You can identify the organization cloud skill gaps with we providing a free assessment tool online. Then so with that, we'll be able to know like what is a requirement for the different organization. Then besides from that, we will like allowed employees participating from the programs and surveys to understanding like how is they from individual perspective, like what they want to achieve from the programs. After the whole journey, there will be someone from my team review the results and to pinpoint the areas of needs. And then they will create a target and the like cost-effective trainings to tailor to the organization and address the needs of the employees. So why cost-effective? Because some of the organization or like department might fund like training actually takes some of times of their working hours. Is like extra thing to do. So it's supposed to be a value-adding services, but might not necessary to be foundation things like operational thing. However, we do believe like with the right training and enablement, we can help to see like, so for example, first thing is a clarity. It's like who has the skills and to what depth, and also like collect the data from thousands of individuals and to see how we can help the organization to grow. And certainly will be like identify the appropriate staff and courses for them to take. So like appoint them to the right training we find it's suitable for them. Then the last one is prioritize and schedule training for them. So this is more like coordination and the operating staffs, but it is also very important to make things happen. Then lastly is just like we want to revisit the scope and to make sure like we justify the investment. So how the ROI looks like is really important. Next, like I will just touch on more and develop tailored training plans. So like this is like how AWS learning needs analysis like report looks like, show the AWS knowledge and skills. So as you can see from the screen, so this one is like we use this to evaluate the skills across the organizations and analyze the data at a like diversified data through different departments, teams, and individual levels. It also creates a foundation to develop a tailored training plan based on the data. So this report is what we use to provide the current status of like AWS knowledge and skills, and also to get to know like how we provide a specific recommended learning activities, including the location and dates to the audience, internal and external, both. We can see some like sample charts and reports that can be created by the learning needs analysis on these slides. So this is like some of the projects we are doing currently. That's like all I touch base today. So if you have any question, like you can just reach out to me. Like I can happy to answer.
If you have any question, please type in the chat box or just unmute your mic to speak. If there's no one asking question, I would like to ask one question. Hey.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, please go ahead.
I would ask that you have been to different places with different people with different cultural backgrounds. In your opinion, which is your favorite working culture?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. Thank you for asking that. So firstly, I will answer your question, Harry. So I have been to like different places for work. I think like different place, there is an interest level of every place. So like for me, myself, I'm a person likes to adventure. Even though some of the trips, business trip, like may seem like a little bit more adventure, I will take it as interesting. So just share a few very quickly. The first one is like when I visit India, I happened to experience they have a strike there. So that's my very first time to experience a strike. So I realized, okay, they actually coordinated really well. The people plan it. So they announce on the social network saying like, oh, tomorrow we're going to have a strike at this area. And they really did. So with that, like, and also I found like how the collaboration and the security part is really amazing. So Facebook side is like Facebook security. They send a bunch of the security team to the hotel we hosting the events to make sure it's like it's a more tighter and straighter security level. It's enhanced. At the same time, it's like we need to communicate with all the guests, whoever arrive. It's like, okay, hey guys, thank you so much for making the trip today. Yeah, please stay calm. Yeah, we'll be safe in the hotel. So we will still deliver and carry on whatever the message we wanted to sharing with you guys today. And after that, I think like they did a really good job like to protect us on safety wise. So we have the very successful one-day event, and we extended like to invite all the guests have a dinner here to make sure like the roads are clear. There is no more strike people outside, so they can safely go home at around like 9 p.m. The other one is when I visiting. So some is interesting because like while visiting Australia, so I do programs with them like to try to see how they pushing for the one-day workshop. So the vendors working there are truly experience like work-life balance, because what they told me is that one day before the event, they're supposed to set up the event place and show me around to make sure everything is ready. So the next day we can have the events. However, like they told me, oh, it's already 5 p.m. We need to knock off. Enjoy your day. So they just say bye to me. I'm like, oh my God. So the next day they reach earlier, it's around 8. So they set up like everything on time. I'm like so thankful. I'm like, oh my God, I almost feel like the event will be failed. They told me like, oh, enjoy the day. The other one is like when I traveling to Manila, I experienced super typhoon. The time I really don't want to travel, but it's because I'm a very competitive person as well. One of my team member wanted to do an training workshop with me together in Manila. So she flew all the way from London to Manila. There is a super typhoon. Both of us received the alert from Facebook security says like, there is a super typhoon. We don't advise you flew over. However, she did. So as a very competitive person, I also flew from Singapore to Manila. I think maybe the typhoon really flashed out all the bad lucks. Eventually, the workshop is the most successful session, like in the second half year of 2018. And there is some of the interesting one as well. For some of the bigger place, for example, like States, I held one workshop over there as well. Around 5 p.m., I almost end my workshop. Then somebody is like, come in and asking, "Hey, sorry, when will the workshop finish?" I'm like, "Oh, it's almost done, but you can join next session like in another city. My colleagues will deliver it." So he's like, "Oh my God, I just travel. I just get a train and travel all the way here, but like the train delayed, so I just arrived." I feel so bad for him. So I'm like, oh, if you don't mind, like you can stay maybe another 1 hour. So I do a quick recap for you on whatever information we have. Yeah. Okay. I hope that's an interesting experience. And also, I saw a question from Cheng Han. Like, I would like to ask how you adapt to the new industry that without experience in it. I think the very first thing, very important, is that you must be a very curious person, and like you're able to embrace yourself. So, like when I moved from the quality assurance to the like from the pharmaceutical products focus, medical, like to the advertising, I think it's like really zero relevance of my background. However, I think like the curious, asking question, and reading the industry notes is very important, and get to know the products is very important. Be very curious person is important, and talk to the right people in the industry. So talk to the right people. Normally, I will recommend like you get advice from either your manager, or like some of you might have the career coach at your company, like mentors at the company, get advice from them. Or you may even can reach out some of them on LinkedIn, and you can get some of the connections through the external organization. Get to know where should you start to get to know a new industry. So this definitely helps. And I believe like it's more based on the times of efforts, how you spend. Because recently I finished the book of Outliers. Some of you might read about it as well. So I heavily believe like the points they list out. So the first one is like you spend like 10,000 hours on something, it definitely will be success. And like, yeah, I think like that's a very common theory. A lot of you guys might be able to know it. Okay. Please type which type of life you like better, travel around or stay in one region? Actually, I prefer travel around, able to expose to different of the culture. I think it's definitely more fun and get to know people working in different ways. It's a better way to like refresh yourself to maybe to facing the similar work every day. However, if like travel too frequent might not be so good. So for me, last time when I was Facebook, there is a 1 month I only 3 days in Singapore. And the rest of time I'm traveling. And one day I back to Singapore, I'm like repack the luggage from winter to summer, then I fly out again. So if like too frequent, definitely not good. It's a good way to find mentor on LinkedIn. I definitely say so. And also like last time, so sometimes I actually will search some of the companies I found is very interesting. They might be the unicorn company like startups. I didn't knowing them well, so sometimes I will sending the notes through LinkedIn, but to make sure like your notes doesn't sound like advertising. So you should introduce yourself in a proper way and also be short and concise. And to asking the person, or you just wanted to get to know some of the insights, whether it's a good to asking for a coffee chat. I have a few successfully coffee chat through LinkedIn. Yeah. And maybe because I'm female, I find it's easier for me to connect with female. So they are more willing to help and to sharing what are their roles and what actually they are doing now. Really touch when you're being a coach and majoring in education, but I found no so much passion on it. Oh, not so much passion on it. I think like for me, it's like if you all the day, to be honest, like if you every day deliver training, it will be very drained because you will be able to find like the content are very similar. The product updates is only a little bit. So majority of the time is like you are saying the same thing repetitively. So I think in this way, what we can do is like one way is like if you study education, so there are a few different careers education can consider. Coach can be one. The other one is a content designing, and also like you can do some research as well. Clients, customer insights, industry insights. That's all like very interesting way for education related role to start. Yeah, at the same time, I think if you wanted to be a trainer or a coach, then definitely develop a different way of engaging with audience might help you because all the audience will be different. So they will ask you different questions, engage with you in a different way. I think that's a way to help you feel more fun about it. Yeah. Hope that answered your question. Is there any other questions? No worries. I think you are mute, Harry.
Any other question?
Yeah, any
Don't
other
be
questions?
shy.
Okay, may I ask, how would you deal with students or people who are really depressed and feeling like it's the end of the world? How would you encourage them, giving them coach experience? Oh, so sometimes I think that's a really great question because everyone should, not everyone will be positive every day, right? Definitely people have their down moments. Yeah, so for me, like what I do is if I observing like my audience or like my students having a downtime, normally what I do is that during the break time, I reach out to them. And then I have a chat with them like, oh, how are you? Like, how's your day? And then sharing with them, like I was starting breaking icebreaker myself, like sharing with them some of the interesting things happening recently. So asking them, how are you? So some of them might want it to be open up. If they don't want, it's okay. Just give them some time and let them know like you're caring for them and you want to know how you can help them. So this definitely helps. Yeah, that's my opinion. usually like they may not change their mood so quick, but they know like you are caring for them. Yeah. So if they want to open up, it's good. If they don't want, yeah, I still respect them. Yeah. Will you give yourself a timeline to career change? So yeah, that's a really good question. So this is has an official answer and unofficial answer. Official answer is like from I used to be HR talent development. So from the HR point of view, normally it's like 1.5 years to 3 years will be a good enough time to stay on the role. And also this is a duration for us to consider candidates from external parties to join in the organization. We found, okay, maybe after 1.5 years, you will be very familiarized with the industry and your role, what you're doing. So we will consider you for switch. For myself, it's more like based on what I can think of different projects on my own role. So if I can continually came out of the new projects, I'm very happy to stay on the same department, same function. But definitely I wanted to see a growth on my career development. But if I couldn't find the interesting role, so for example, like when along the way I do research, normally I will find something interesting, either in my department or other function or other products. Then I will have a coffee chat with the people I'm interested. Then I will get to know more about the role and to know like what are the expertise they have and how they able to get the role and like what are the most important skill set and knowledge they need. So if I lack of the skill set and knowledge, then I will start to study it, working on it. Yeah. Okay, curious, what is the most impressive work experience you ever had? I think there is a lot of impressive work experience. So I'm not really sure like what will be the most interesting one, but I can share a few more. Yeah, except from just now the few like I only 3 weeks old, then I went to an industry talk alone and then eventually get the help from the audience, which I'm very thankful. And also I have a very crazy hour one time. I flew from Singapore to Shanghai and stayed there 36 hours. Then after one workshop, then I flew to London for another workshops. Sometimes like jet lag is a very interesting topic. There is I don't really have a jet lag when I travel to one place for work, but normally I get a jet lag when I back to Singapore. So one day my previous company manager back to Singapore, he's like, oh, since everyone like in the team, 5 of us in Singapore today, shall we have a team lunch tomorrow and for catch up? I'm like, yeah, all good. So he's like, oh, you are foodie, so you go and suggest a restaurant and book it, let us know. I'm like, yeah, all good. So I settled everything, sending out even RSVP to asking them to confirm their attendance. On the second day, my jet lag came, so I overslept. I think at 11:50 a.m., my boss texted me, hey friend, are you still come for work or come for lunch? Didn't reply. So I only wake up at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. they already finished their lunch. So there is a group photo and they put my face in screen over there and said, thank you Yvonne for booking it. But like, I didn't show up, I didn't enjoy the food. This is some of them. Like, okay, I saw another question. What if someone not extrovert? She could be a good coach? It's not really necessary. You need to be extrovert. So for me personally, I'm an introvert extrovert. While work, if I didn't interact with people, I'll be very quiet, super quiet. I don't talk, I just concentrate. Sometimes my face will be very serious. So my friends will say, is there something big happen? Why you look so serious? I'm like, oh no, it's just like I'm too focused on certain projects. But I think the important part is like you are not afraid of giving a public speaking. And that is something you can train. And my definition for introvert and extrovert is one differentiation is like introvert, when you speaking publicly, you are actually giving out energy, sharing your energy with your audience. But for those truly extroverts, when they are giving the kind of talk, they are actually absorbing the energy from the audience. they feel like, oh, I'm so engaging with the audience, I'm so satisfying. Yeah, so it's not necessarily, but if you still wanted to be like speaker coach, I think you can starting to train yourself. There is some of like a speaker, how to say, like speaker skills you can train, that can be trained. So one will be like, before you deliver a public speaker speech, find a mirror, and then you talking to the mirror, you can observing like how you deliver the message. The other one is like asking one of your trusted friends or relatives to do a video recording, so you can see like actually how you look like throughout the session, and you will notice like how you can improve from there. Maybe using too much filler, I have this problem, yeah, until now, or like maybe using too much gesture, or like how did you stand, how's your pose, and how do you engage with the audience. This all can train. Do you train employees to help them deal with skill gaps? Do you hire experts in specific fields? Oh, that's a very good question. So how I train them is normally I train them sometimes, but majority is at soft skills or those area I'm expertise in. So for example, like right now I can train them advertisement products. Yeah, no problem for me to pick up like Amazon. But if it's like cloud products, I rely on the subject matter experts. So it needs a good coordination with the subject matter experts, because they are the person who knowing the area really well, but they might not be the best person to deliver training or even writing the contents. So there is a lot of interaction with them to make sure like you give them enough help, assistance, so they can help you to write the content, and you can rehearse with them. Sometimes after a few sessions of subject matter experts training, we do a recording sessions for webinar. Or what we can do is I will do a beginner training for the audience. So if going more in depth, we will invite different subject matter experts to do a sharing session with them. So I think that's more helpful. Right now, I'm not hiring any trainers, but I'm actually hiring for the Eric. Can I share that? Can I share that? I'm hiring for. Okay. So I'm looking to hiring more around 20, but engineer based, like cloud engineer, can be without experience, but it's good like you learn in engineer before. Yeah, so I will put them in a system pipeline and to train them 1 year. So eventually they will onboard it and become a full-time with us. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, if no questions, you guys can also connect me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I think Eric can share with you guys how you find me. If any question, can just LinkedIn email to me as well. Yeah, so very happy to spending the Friday afternoon with all of you, TGIF, and wish you guys have a good weekend ahead. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Yvonne.
No worries. Bye.
Bye-bye. So the next session is the Singapore job scene review, but we have a few minutes, sorry. You can take a very short break, and we will come back at 3 p.m. Oh, we can have a 10-minute break. Okay. Let's come back at 3. Okay. Have a 10-minute break. Okay. So welcome back to our section. Our next section is future ready workshop. The topic of this workshop is Singapore Job Scene Review. The speaker today is Tony Jim. Tony has graduated from National University of Singapore with a PhD in Information Technology Management and has published several articles in leading academic journals. From 2012 to 2015, Tony worked at the Royal Bank of Scotland as the graduate trainee. In 2015, he co-founded BestTop's. Up till now, he has successfully organized more than 30 branches of career workshops and launched more than 60 large-scale offline activities. He developed deep cooperation with more than 20 multinational companies such as Boomerang, HP, LinkedIn, Uber, and a dozen of universities such as NUS, NTU, and HKU. He is also a better professional tutor with more than 1,200 hours of coaching. He is also a mentor at BestTop's, and he helped more than 120 students to harvest their favorite offers, including P&G, UBS, HP, DBS Bank, General Electric, and so on. So let's welcome Tony to begin his sharing. Hello, Tony.
Hey, hello everyone. Can you all hear me?
Your voice a little bit small.
Okay. So how about now? Maybe I can speak. Yeah. How about now? Right.
Yeah, it's okay right now.
Okay, Ken. So let me share my screen. Just a second. Okay, so I believe you can see my screen now, right? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony. So it's my pleasure to be here as a last day and also last session, sharing session, and so the topic will cover about Singapore job markets and also some job search strategies, right? So because BestTop's and also TalentLink, so we are from Singapore. We are based in Singapore, even though we also got a Hong Kong office there. And but we have been working with HKU on different projects, and we do see some of the students are quite interested in either study or working overseas. Yeah, so just in case you are curious about why this is about Singapore job market, right? It's not about Hong Kong market. So believe that you should be more familiarized with the local market, the Hong Kong market, job market, right? Better than me. So as a virtual exchange program, culture exchange, right? So maybe I can shed some light on Singapore job market for your reference, so that you can do some comparison, right? And also the later part, the job search strategy, actually applies to both either Hong Kong, mainland China. I know you also, some of you are from the States, right? And also Singapore. So apply to different regions and countries. Yeah, just feel free to apply the strategy, the techniques I share in today's session. This is kind of a summary of we have been coached over 1,000 students in the past 7 years, and some of the techniques, the tips are quite useful. Yeah, so hopefully it will be helpful to you. Okay, so before I begin, a very short brief of BestTop's, right? So here is one of the newsletter sent from Invest Hong Kong, right? So Invest Hong Kong is the Hong Kong agency for foreign investment, etc. Right? So why we are featured in the Invest Hong Kong is because should be like 5 years ago. Yeah, so we set up a regional office in Hong Kong in the Cyberport, right? So if you are not really know about where is the Cyberport, actually it's just beside HKU. Yeah, so over there we enroll their incubation program, and after that, we've been working quite closely with different our partners in Hong Kong, right? So, but our headquarters is in Singapore, right? So, and in the past few years, we've been doing similar culture exchange program, but offline. It's not really virtual, right? So we really bring the student to Singapore, to different company like Goldman Sachs, like the UBS, etc., for company visit, and also invite different speakers to do the offline face-to-face workshop, etc. Right? So this provide a very good interaction for the students from different Hong Kong universities, right? So hopefully, yeah, maybe this year, right? If the whole situation turns much better, right? So maybe I can see you in person in Singapore. Yeah, and this is roughly I will separate the sharing into two parts. So one is about Singapore job market. In case you are not so familiar with that, yeah. So another part is about the job search strategy, as I shared before, right? So you can utilize the strategy in different job markets, regardless where you are based. And here is why the topic will be relevant to you, right? So here I take some screenshot from our previous students. So this is one of the students from HKU. So in this winter, right? So we have the internship program we call the Lunaries. So this student from HKU actually got a job offer, but it's a virtual internship, offer from one of the Singapore company, and have already kickstarted, right? So this is a showcase, right? Means even though you are currently based in Hong Kong or elsewhere, but you should still be familiarize yourself with the Singapore job market, right? Because this is some places where you can accumulate your overseas internship experiences. By talking about internship, we also got a full-time job offer. This is one of the VIP program. I call the VIP program, Career Development Program. This student is from HKU as well. So she studied master in HKU, major in business analytics. Yeah, so she actually graduates 2020 June, yeah, last June. Yeah, and she enrolled our program in 2019. Yeah, so 1 year ago, right? Around, if I remember correctly, October or September. Yeah, just the time she joined HKU to begin the master program. And after that, through our coaching, training, and internal referral, various training development program, and in January last year, yeah, now it's 2021, right? January last year. So she finally got a job offer in Singapore, Shopee, right? In case you do not know Shopee, so Shopee is one of the largest e-commerce websites. Yeah, the e-commerce provider in Southeast Asia, and also heavily invested by Tencent. Yeah, so they're kind of just equivalent to Taobao or Jingdong, right? When you are talking about the e-commerce giants in China. So Shopee is one of the largest e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia, right? So she got a full-time job offer. Yeah. So this is also another career path, yeah, where you can take a look, right? And another story I wish I can share is should be last summer. We also got another round of internship program run by last summer run by Ashan. Yeah, Ashan called Ashan Internship Program run by Invest Hong Kong, right? So we got a student from HKU as well, bachelor. Then we really like her, and we offer her the full-time job. Yeah, after she completes our internship, right? But by then she declined our offer, yeah, because a lot of family issue, etc. Right? But now she's after 1 year working in Hong Kong, she take a serious consideration in terms of the career development, the the outlook and also personal issues, etc. And she decided to come to Singapore. And now we are having the paperwork for her, right? So we already offer her to work with us in Singapore. So this is these 3 stories, right? To the reason why I share it with you is there's a lot of opportunities. Yeah. So regardless where you are, right? I mean, Singapore is a regional hub, right? Especially for Southeast Asia. So this is definitely some of the places. Yeah. After your graduation, you can seriously consider. Okay. Yeah. So just some case study. Yeah. This is a overview of Singapore. Yeah. So working in Singapore, according to the World Bank Group 2020 last year's Human Capital Index, Singapore is actually ranked as the number 1 in terms of human capabilities. Right. So for this ranking, measure different dimensions of a country's human capability. For example, the gender equality, the career progression, salary, etc. So overall, so across dozens of criteria, Singapore, even though it's a very small country, right, ranked among the top 1 of this rank, right, and also quite officialized. So this is kind of an indication of many people or many talents wish to work in Singapore, right? So second thing you have to know about working in Singapore is about the work visas, right? I believe for most of you, yeah, so you are to Singapore, you are foreigners, right? Because either you are studying in Hong Kong or mainland China. So if you come to Singapore, you are considered as foreigners. So for foreigners, you have to get the pass, the work permit, right? So in Singapore, they got different kind of work permits, including employment pass, S pass, and also work permit. So in later section, I will elaborate more on that. Yeah, so this is something you have to take care of that. The third thing is about income tax. So in Singapore, it's quite appealing, right? If in terms of the income tax. So roughly speaking, if you are graduate, if you are fresh graduate, you are earning around maybe 40,000 Sing dollar, right? So 40,000 Sing dollar per year. So this is roughly the average for fresh graduate like in Singapore. So you only have to pay a few hundred Sing dollar in tax yearly basis, right? So this is quite amazing, right? So the tax system is much lower, right? By taking into consideration of that from mainland China and also the states, right? So even though the highest rank is only 20%, right? So this is kind of appealing to most of the working professionals. And this is quite similar to Hong Kong. Yeah, I know Hong Kong, the top rank of the tax rate is about 15%, right? Equivalent to Singapore. So if you are earning a lot, yeah, welcome to Singapore, right? So you know the co-founder of Facebook, right? So the guy also changed to Singapore citizenship. Yeah, yeah. So giving up the American citizenship, so moving to Singapore just because of the low tax rates in Singapore. Okay. Last but not least is the Central Providence Funds. So here we call the CPF. So this is only applicable to locals. By local, what I mean is Singaporean citizen, and also the permanent residents. Right. So for CPF, it's where after you begin to work, then you have to contribute part of your salary, and also the company also contributes part of the salary, right? So that you got this fund, and it will be used for your like medical savings, and also after your retirement, you can withdraw the money from the bank account. Yeah. So this is something quite similar to that of Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong we call MPF, right? And also in mainland China is Reservoir, right? Okay, so these are the 4 key facts, right? So I mean, the key features or highlights, right? So why you should work in Singapore. Now let's take a look of some of the key data of Singapore job market. So the data is released as of 2019. Yeah, because the latest data has not been released, right? So I'm using 1 year ago the data. So in total, in Singapore, the labor force is about 3.7 million. Yeah, so the population in Singapore around 5 million plus, right? So you can see about 80%, 75% are workforce. And among the workforce, right, rather than the local, either the Singaporean or the PR, the local contribute to 2.3%. So for the rest of around 1.5% is all foreigners. So you can see it's just a quite large amount of the labor force in Singapore is comprised of foreigners, right? So do not think that, oh, since I'm a foreigner, I'm a student, is it possible to look for a job in Singapore? I mean, yeah, it's definitely yes, yeah. So, but you have to utilize all the techniques, all the tips I will share you later on, right? Then you can largely increase your chance of getting a job, right? Then the job vacancy in last year about 50K, yeah, it's not much. And on average, the working hours, yeah, per week is 44 hours. So this is a kind of quite okay, right? Because I originate from Mainland China, yeah. So I know how the working life, yeah, like my friends, right, in Shanghai, in Beijing are like. So China got the 996, right? So and also Hong Kong, right? So I've been always having the business trip to Hong Kong. I also based Hong Kong for a few times. So I know in Hong Kong the pace is also quite fast, especially the Hong Kong people working really, really fast, right, in the MTR station. So this is but in comparison, Singapore is relatively relaxing, yeah, in terms of the working hours per week. And for unemployment rate, 3%, yeah, 2.9%, consider really, really low, yeah, among the developed countries, right? So, of course, for last year, due to the COVID, the unemployment rate rose a little bit, yeah, but the government is trying very hard to contain the situation, right? So roughly speaking, for last year, I think it's around, so the data shows around 4%, unemployment rate, still very good, yeah. So the government is taking a very good measure on that. For wage-wise, the salary-wise, the median wage in Singapore among all the workforces is about 4.5K. This is will be sufficient, sufficient for you to have a decent life here, right? Even if you are the foreigners, right? So, and for the annual wage changes here, I mean the increment, yeah. So year-on-year basis, on average, is about 4%. Of course, for last year, maybe not, right? Yeah, but in old good times, it's about 4% per year. Okay, so this is roughly some of the key indicators of the Singapore. Hopefully, you can get a grasp of how Singapore job market is and whether it will be some idea wishing to work in Singapore or not. Okay, so as I promised, right here I will be elaborating some of the work passes for you guys. I mean, most relevant to you, right? So there's a lot of passes, yeah, relating to the work, to the life, etc. Right? So in Singapore, got different government agencies. The first one is MOM, right? So it's not your mother. It's the Ministry of Manpower. So they will be just like the labor department from Hong Kong, right? So they're in charge of a lot of working relationship issues, right? So they are issuing the pass in terms of the employment pass, S pass, and also the work permit, and also WHP. So for these 4 passes will be most relevant to you. I will elaborate more in detail in the following slides. Another agency is called ICA, right? Immigration Checkpoint Authority. So this is where you are coming to Singapore as a tourist, right? So you apply for the visa, etc. So this is ICA will issue like the border control. They also issue different passes like the student pass and also the long-term visit pass. But these two will be not so relevant to you unless you decide to come into Singapore to study for a master degree or even a PhD degree. Okay. So for the first one is about the employment pass, right? So for in Singapore, the work permit, the work passes got different categories. So for the employment pass, this one is the highest rank. So this is for we call highly skilled foreign full-time employees. And when you go apply the pass, they will issue to grant you maximum 2 years period to stay in Singapore to work. Yeah. So but you take a look of the employment pass. Actually, this is from me. So when I first began to work in Singapore, right? So I was employed by Royal Bank of Scotland as a management trainee. So you can see here, right? So for employment pass, it will specify which company you are working for under which job title. Right? So this is quite strict. You cannot working for other employers from the same time, right? In the same time. And how if the work permit, the work pass, right? So you can see I got 2 years EP, right? So how if the work pass expires, it is renewable. So after it expires, you can renew it. The employer will help you to renew for maximum 3 years. Yeah. So for eligibility wise, right? So this is something quite relevant to you. So Singapore, especially starting from the year before, right? So they are tightening, actually. They are tightening the job recruitment, the foreign employment policy. So they have a minimum salary requirements for the people to get the employment pass. So currently, the monthly salary you have to earn is at least 4.5K Sing dollar. So to be frank, this is a little bit high for most of the fresh graduate, right? And let alone it is set for 5,000, right? If you are getting a financial service roles in Singapore. So friend notes, because we do have many of our VIP students, right? So they get a full-time job offer, but the salary is below this threshold. So they still managed to get an EP last year. Yeah. So I would say this is not a one. It is one of the factor, but it's not a single factor for you to get an employment pass in Singapore. Yeah. Okay. Second eligibility is you have to first get a job offer. Yeah, means there should be one company willing to take you, right, as a full-time employee. Only after that you have to apply for the employment pass, and you have to demonstrate you have a relevant prior working experiences, right? So, but how if you are fresh? Yeah. So that's why you have to get an internship, right? So I always share with my students. I say, you definitely have to get 1 or 2 local Singapore internship before you wish to get a full-time job in Singapore. This is a must. Yeah, I seldom see some students get a full-time job. I mean, the ideal full-time job without taking an internship in Singapore. Okay. For application-wise, you have to submit your passport, graduate certificate, etc. So this is kind of a paperwork. I will not elaborate on. So next is the S-Pass. So for S-Pass, it's 1 level behind, lower than the employment pass. So this is suitable for semi-skilled foreign full-time employee. Saying the duration it lasts for 2 years. If you renew, another 2 years. So different from Singapore, different from employment pass, it will specify not just the country, not just the company, the job title, it will also specify the sectors, right? Means that the person have to be in either manufacturing, the services, F&B, etc. Right? So why is this so? Because for a company who sponsor for S-Pass, they have to get a quota from MOM. So for example, if you're applying for the services, right? So there's a quota for 13%. Yeah. What does this mean? Means when the company wish to apply for S-Pass for you, right? So they have to get at least 7 local employees, I mean either citizen or PR. Then MOM will grant the company for 1 quota for SP. Yes, sounds very difficult, right? But for many large organizations, it should not be an issue, right? So I do see many companies like the Shopee, Google, even Facebook, right? They are applying for S-Pass for their employees because they got a lot of locals, right? So relatively for S-Pass, the requirement is a little bit lower, right? So far, the monthly salary is only 2.5K. Yeah, much lower than employment pass. Okay. Yeah. So next, yeah. So if you have any question, you can just let me know. So you can type in the chat. So yep. By talking about this, yeah, so then it's an EP and S-Pass, right? So here is a link. Here is a link. I can copy into the group chat. Just give me a second. Here is a link. Yeah, along the way, you can take a look to input your degree. If you are wondering, yeah, I'm graduating now, right? Oh, I really wish to work in Singapore. Am I eligible to get a work permit? So here is one of the self-assessment tool. Yeah, to test, you just have to input a few keywords like your age. Yeah, surprisingly, yeah, the elder you are, the more difficult to get an EP. Yeah, the younger you are, the easier, right? Surprising, huh? So you can input different factors from your background so that you can check whether you will be eligible for the employment pass or S-Pass. Okay, so this is for you to play around. So you can also do by now just to have a test, right? So next is what I call the short-term visit pass. This is not so relevant to you, because I know some of the students are from local, right, from Singapore local university. Yeah, so this only apply for you. So for graduates from selected universities in Singapore, after you graduate, you can go to the ICA to apply for the short-term visit pass. So this will grant you another around 3 months, 1 to 3 months to stay in Singapore. But during this period of time, you cannot work. Yeah, you also cannot do any internship. You only can look for a job, right? So this is what we call the white card. And another one also apply for local university students is for the long-term visit pass, right? Actually, many of my students, the VIP program students, they came to Singapore to study at either bachelor or master degree. Yeah. So after they graduated, they really wish to look for a job in Singapore, right? But during their study, they don't have much time to look for a job, right? So only after graduation, they begin to realize it's the time to look for a job, right? Then they begin to say, okay, so can I stay in Singapore longer, right? 3 months is maybe not so long enough to get a job, full-time job offer. So this is one of another special pass we call LTVP for graduates from university students. Yeah, so for this one, will entitle you to be here for 1 year. Yeah, 1 year will be sufficient, right, to look for a job in Singapore. So for us, based on hundreds of our students' experiences, roughly for students who enroll into our program, it takes about 6 to 9 months to land a job in Singapore from scratch. Yeah, but I don't know those who didn't join our program. Yeah, I heard many just go back to their home country to work, right? But if you really determined to get a job in Singapore, I mean, you have to be well prepared. Yeah, it's not say that okay, 3 months or even 1 month I can get a job in Singapore. It's not possible, right? So you need to set aside like at least half year for you to do some training, to do application, interview, etc. Yeah. Okay, last but not least, so this is relevant to most of you. Yeah. So this what I call working holiday pass. Yeah, just in case you are not familiarized with this, many of our students from HKU, from CU, UST, who coming to Singapore to work as intern under our internship program, they're having this pass, working holiday pass. Yeah, so this is an amazing part, right, for Singapore to attract the talents. If so, the fundamental is first you are overseas students. Even if you graduate, it's fine. Yeah, so either you are currently studying or you have already graduated, as long as you are below 26 years old. Yeah, around 18 to 25, cannot be above 26. Okay. Then you are graduate or current students in a recognized university from these regions or countries. Yeah. So Hong Kong is one, States is one. Yeah. So sorry. So Mainland China is not listed here. Yeah. So if you are from Caida, right? I know some students from Caida, so you cannot. Yeah. But from this region and countries, you are able to apply for the working holiday pass. And on a yearly basis, no, I mean there are 2,000 quota. Well. At the same time, this doesn't mean that every year Singapore only issue 2,000 WHP. Yeah, means at a certain point of time, say Singapore allow 2,000 people who are holding working holiday pass to stay in Singapore, right? So if you apply for working holiday pass, then M1 tell you, say, sorry, I cannot, right? Because the quota is fulfilled. Then you can try a few weeks later, right? Because some people WHP will expire. Yeah, then it's likely you will get it. Yeah. So to apply for a working holiday pass, you don't have to get a job offer. Yeah, that means as long as you are a student. So you say, the world is so big, I just want to take a round, right? 世界这么大，我只想去看看, right? So in such case, of course you can just go to apply, go ahead to apply. Then it will entitle you to stay in Singapore for 6 months. Yeah, so you came to Singapore, then you're looking for the internship or full-time jobs. Yeah. So I would say 20% of our VIP students from overseas, I mean around 20% from overseas, right? So they're most of them, they're having such working holiday pass to came into Singapore to get an internship or to get a full-time job. Yeah, so it is quite useful, right? So if you're not so familiar with that, you just go with working holiday pass, right? So the first one from the article from Zhihu is from our BestTop. Yeah, it's quite comprehensive. Yeah, so you can take a look. Yeah, it's in Chinese. Okay. So before I proceed to the job search strategies, right? So here is one last note where you can take a look of the recent trends, right, of job market in Singapore. So here is the MOM website. I can also share in the chat here. Okay. Yeah, so this is one of the publication, yeah, portal from Ministry of Manpower. So they will update a lot of the data, their reports, so that you can take a look, yeah, to follow the recent trend of Singapore job market. I see some question, yeah, here coming in the chat, right? Yeah, so Yuan Yuan asks, are there any discrimination or some kind of class feelings, right? So I would say yes or no. Yeah, yes or no. So if you, because Singapore, as I shared in the very first few slides, right? So you can see there have a large number, actually, a large portion of the workforce is from foreign countries, right? So this is Singapore government are holding a quite I would say open attitude, right, to welcome all the foreigners. So as long as you are the ones who are in their target list, yeah. For example, if you are quite good at data analytics, yeah, programming, engineering, etc. Right. So this is where the Singapore are lacking of, right? So you can, the government will welcome you, right? In terms of the glass ceiling, yeah, if you are working in the local companies, of course, most of the senior managements are locals. Yeah, it's not foreigners, right? And you know, for MBB, right, Mackenzie, BCG, and Bayan, our students feedback, yeah, because they're some of the students quite good, right? So got an interview, try this. So they feedback that for MBB, such top consulting firms, they're only looking for Singaporeans. Yeah, even if you are permanent, yeah, permanent resident, the PR doesn't allow you to apply. Yeah, so even though they will not indicate openly, yeah, but internally, so this is one of the hidden rules, right? So in terms of the discrimination, yeah, of course there is. Right? Yeah, if you're foreigners, it's a little bit at disadvantage, of course, right? So that's why for foreigners, you have to try even harder, right, than locals to secure a job in Singapore. But on the other hand, right, by talking to many of our partnering companies, local companies, they all give feedback to me, yeah, unanimously, yeah, so they're quite open to looking for foreigners, even they have to sponsor for the EP or SP. Why? Because they feel foreigners are quite motivated, driven, right? So unlike some of the locals, right, very relaxing, etc., right, protected by the government, right? Foreigners are quite self-determined, right? So, so that's why many of our students, majority of our students are foreigners. Yeah, so I would say majority of our students manage to get a job in Singapore as long as you are determined to do so. Okay. So the second half, right? The second half, I will share about quickly share some of the tips and the job search strategy where can help you, yeah, to better look for either internship or full-time job in Singapore. So first, I will disclose, yeah, some of the effective job search channels where we usually encourage our students to use. Okay, so for the first one is a traditional online job portal. So here I'm only talking about Singapore. So for here it's about, you can see like the Monster, Wanted, JobDB, JobStreet. Some are quite localized job portals. Some Monster, I believe Monster is from the UK, right? Hong Kong also have. So these are a few, I would say, the traditional job portal. You can simply type the keyword and go to the job portal to search for the jobs. The second is the job search engines, right? So Google recently launched another feature for the jobs. So you can just put like finance jobs or data analytics jobs, just search, yeah, and put jobs at the behind. It will showcase a list of job posting, yeah, recently, and you can also filtering like the date, the regions, the salary, etc. Yeah, another quite oftenly our students use is Indeed, yeah, Indeed.com.sg. So these are the two, I would say, quite common, quite traditional one. Next, we got the vertical, yeah, the vertical job portal. This means it's not like everything inside, right? If you search for JobDB, you can also see, I would say the maid, yeah, or construction worker, right? Job position over there. Of course, I don't think it's applicable to you, right? So for the vertical job portals are the one, if you're looking for finance, you can go eFinance Career. If you're looking for IT jobs, My Technology, or to looking for some design or creative jobs, you can go to this one. Yeah, so these are quite niche, yeah, but again, this is very focused so that you can easily target, right, the relevant job post you are going to look. Next is the fresh graduate job portal, right? So yeah, of course, our VIP students, so BestTop, we always have our internal referral. Yeah, internal referral, we only post into our own system, only apply for our own students. Yeah, so if you are not my student, don't worry. Yeah, you can always go to like your different university career portal. I know some today's audience are from SMU or NTU, right? So you can utilize your career portal. Actually, my student feedback is so for such career portal, your university career portal, it's very good to look for internship, but not full time. Yeah. So if you are targeting at internship, yeah, better to try this. But for full time, maybe you have to try internal referral, etc. Okay. And InterSG, and it is another one. But of course, if you are really looking for internship opportunity in Singapore, yeah, you can always come to us. Yeah, so our Lunaris program, the summer internship program, we run every winter and also summer. Yeah, will largely increase your chance to get a job in Singapore, and we are about to launch another program with HKU. Yeah, just note it, just keep out look for your email box, right? So it's a guaranteed internship program. So working with some local data analysis company. Yeah, I will share the information last. Okay, so next is social media. Yeah, of course, you can go to the LinkedIn, Glassdoor, etc. Right, to look. I will share with you more on how you can approach different connection on the LinkedIn later on. So I skip here. Then if you are local, you happen to be local, right? So this one is only for Singapore government, right? One is WSG, My Skill Future. Only you are the permanent PR or Singapore citizen, then you can go to apply foreigners, just forget about it. Next, career fairs. Yeah, career fairs quite useful, right? So every year we BestTop, we also organize Singapore Career Summits in the past 5 years. Yeah, every year we have one, right? So many of the students, yeah, came into our career fair, managed to find a full-time job or internship, right? So for university, I believe you also got a different career fair. This is something you can take a look. But for Singapore, right? For Singapore, many of the university career fair only open for their own students, especially for this year. NUS, NTU, right, is happening in this month. Yeah, so if you are from Hong Kong or mainland China, you can follow our social media. Yeah, we will update when our virtual career fair will happening. Yeah, so our events is non-discrimination. Yeah, we open to all the students. All are welcome. So last but not least, go to some headhunters, right? But I would say this is not so applicable to fresh graduate, right? So because most of the headhunters, I believe you should also attend, right? You attended the Rachel's sharing on the very first day, the first session, right? So like headhunters like Randstad, quite established in Singapore. So most of them are looking for full-time position for working professionals with working experiences. For fresh graduates, seldom. But again, you can still try. Many of the headhunters will put some job opportunities on their websites. Yeah, you can also follow. Yeah, so another is a post-mail application. So this is something, yeah, so we do have our successful case. Yeah, our VIP students managed to use the postal mail. Means to send your application to the company by postal mail. Yep. So we have a few successful cases. Yeah. So if you are interested, you can come to our program. Yeah, we can elaborate more on that. Okay. Due to time constraint, I just move on. Yeah. If you are still sure about what kind of jobs, right, or what kind of company I can apply, you can just Google search this, right? Let me move this a little bit. Yeah, you can just search the Singapore's best employers. Yeah, the Singapore best employer, and it will give you a list of 150 most attractive employers in Singapore. Yeah, so you can just search and to see what your peers are looking at, right? But my suggestion to you are you go apply, don't from the top to the bottom, right? You from the bottom to the top, because why? The number one is the most competitive. Yeah, so if you go apply, maybe the chance is not very high, right? So why not starting from 150, 149, right? So relatively less competitive. Okay, let me see any question here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks Kai Hong for answering the question. Yeah. Okay, so next is another job search strategy, right? So just now I talked about what kind of job channels usually the locals are used to look for a job. So for this one is for so how you should do a comprehensive company research in Singapore, right? But also apply to other regions, right? So you can actually only two things you have to do. One is to figure out how you fit the company. Another is how the company fits you. That's all. Right? Sounds easy, but not so easy to do so. Right? So a few steps you should take, right? So first, of course, you go to the company official website. Do remember to check their mission, vision, value, etc. Do not think this is a too cliche or old-fashioned. So why I'm so wish to kiss the ass of the company, right? But this is important because you have to make sure you and the company are aligned with their vision and value, right? If not, this is something not suitable to you, right? So you just, this is the first step you have to know. Another is the department information, right? In terms of the job roles you're applying, right? To see what kind of function are there, right? Whether you wish to go to that function, because there's a lot of introduction there. Second, you can go to company career portal, right? This means when the company got the how to say their career website. Their career website, they have their graduate program overview. So this is you can go to their career portal to take a look, right, of whether there's any insights you can take, right? Sometimes they will put, if you're applying for the graduate program, they will put some ex-graduate experience sharing on that, right? So this is your first-hand information, right, to know the program, to see how lies ahead, right? What's lies ahead before you for the program. Last but not least, do research on Google, right? So if you are applying, for example, you are applying for the finance job, for sure you have to understand the company current stock price, right? So we got a student recently, right? So we internal referral her to a boutique investment firm. Yeah, we're trying very hard. Of course, the student background is also not bad, right? So, pass first round of a resume round, but fail in the final round. Why? Everything is fine. The company feedback say that we really like her and everything is fine. Just because the student did not know the company. I mean, the stock price is one of the stock price. The student claim that she is following, right? So this is one of the lesson learned, right? So you have to keep updates with the latest news. And of course, who are inside, especially who are the interviewers, and also do some company industry research. Okay, so this is about the company research part. Next is what I say, how to expand your connection on LinkedIn, right? So just through these 3 steps, right? So I would say many of the students, you will doubt, right? If I'm a fresh graduate, so how can I, let's say, I really wish to work for Goldman Sachs, right? Goldman Sachs, but I have no idea, right? So whether they are willing to accept my application connection request or not on LinkedIn. Don't worry, right? So you follow the 3 steps, it will be making your connection more easily. So first, you have to target, right? So who is the person you try to connect? There are 3 types of connections. One is friends. Yeah, right. You all know your friends, classmates. Another is acquaintances, your family member, right? etc., or maybe your colleagues, etc. This actually, the first two types is not the one you should connect on the LinkedIn because they offer not much value. I'm not saying you should not connect, but I mean, they will not offer you much value in terms of job opportunities. What you should connect is what I call high quality connections. So these are the people who are in the target industry, target role, or target company, but they do not know you, right? So you really wish to connect. You say, I wish to go to the equity research department in the Goldman Sachs, and you just search, anyhow search, and target those who are from this company, this role, right? Then you go connect the person on the LinkedIn. Remember to add personalized notes. Do not simply send nothing, right? Otherwise, it looks like you are not so polite and sincere. So this is a very, very first step, right? So if your profile is relatively okay, doesn't look like so fake or like a salesperson, right? So I would say the person is more than happy to accept your connection. So what's next? So the next step is not directly go say, hey pal, do you have any job for me, right? Hey brother, can you refer me to this role? It's not like this, right? So you should create the value first. How? You just, I call kick-ass, right? You can share that person's post or to like the person's connection post, or even connect, right, on that. And after that, you go create some engaging contents, right, relating to your personal stories. So we got another quite interesting case, right? Also our VIP student from Mainland. So she's quite diligent. She's interested in doing digital marketing. And then after we told her, say that, you have to create your LinkedIn, create your existence on the social media, then she really do post a lot of content relating to her own story. So in terms of why she's from Vietnam, but she wished to move to Singapore to work, why she's interested in the digital marketing and how hard she has tried, right, to apply the skills and create the value for the company she interned for, which is we refer her, right? Something like this. And after like 3 months, so she really managed to get into Facebook, to do digital marketing related work, right? So I would say this is all came down to your personal, how to say, perseverance and also the efforts, right? So after you create enough value for your connections, then you go ask for a favor, right? So now it's not really possible to engage offline, right? So why not? You can engage online, right? So just send a message, say, hey, so I've been following you for a few times, right? And I'm quite interested in your job scope, right? Work content. So can I ask you a few questions, if possible, etc., right? And if the person decline, maybe you can ask the person for some of the introduction, etc. I use the technique quite often, right? So I remember when a time I wish to connect to a lot of marketing professionals. I try to connect around 20, 10 pass my request, accept my request, and I managed to get a coffee chat with the 5 among the 10, right? So it will be surprising to you, say how well or how kind, right, all the Singaporean working professionals are. Actually, yes, they are. They will be more than happy to give you the insights. But you just have to try. Okay. So last, some of my tips, right? This after you manage, right, to ask the person out or arrange a coffee session with the person, maybe you can try the 4 steps, right? First, you can set up a meeting, right? So yeah, after you identify the connection profile, right? But you have to do some preparation, right? Do not just anyhow go there and chit chat, right? You better do a good research, right, on the connections profiles, right? And beforehand, prepare a list of questions, but do not be too many. Like around 5 to 6 will be good, right? Just a simple question or burning question you wish to ask, right? And then during your coffee chat with the person, try to show your sincerity, right? And also show your interest and ask smart questions. So maybe you can also take notes carefully, right? And after everything finished, do not forget to do the follow-up, because it's a long-term relationship. You cannot just say, hey, yeah, I get what I want to get. Yeah, so bye-bye, right? So it's not like that. Singapore is a small world, right? It's likely maybe next time he or she will be your interviewer. Yep. Here is a list of questions. We usually tell our student to ask our mentor, right? So if our student has no idea what to ask, yeah, but here it's very general, right? But of course, I understand each of you may have very customized question, right, to ask. So you should prepare your own lists. Okay, so yeah, we come to the end. Here is some of the sharing, right, by previous of students. Yeah, here this one is from HKU. So she joined our career exploration program, right, the study tour program, the year before, right? Hopefully this year we can run another batch offline, right? So she came to Singapore for 2 weeks, right, to visit different company, and has a good insight, right, of how she should develop the career, how she should do the preparation. Actually, all the sharing in my session is applicable to you if you are looking for a job in Hong Kong, right? So finally, she got a full-time job, successfully get a full-time job, yeah, and about to begin in a startup company, yeah. So she shared the happy news with me in middle of last year, right? So here, this lady from CTU HK, and now, yeah, these are a few photos, right? So this is what I call create the value for your connection, right? So this is one of the posts. So she shared on LinkedIn and also tagged me, right? So this kind of to leave a better impression, right? So among all the students, actually only she did so, right? So I get a good impression to her, and after that, we keep good contact. Whenever she got some advice to ask me, yeah, I'm willing to share with her, right? And below is another gentleman from CTU, yeah, if I remember correctly, right? So he joined our internship program last year, yeah. So I mean last January, yeah. So he also feel very useful, yeah. 毕生受用, I know it's overestimation, right? It's over, but of course I think it should be useful, right? And when he passed by Singapore last year, yeah, before the border closes, right? We also met offline as well, right? So this is kind of the students, right? So we all keep a long-term relationship, right? Of course, I got hundreds of students, not all I remember, but if you create a value for your connection, of course, we can keep a long-term relationship, right? So like for today's session, right? If you came to LinkedIn, right, to search my profile, Eric profile, Kai Hong profile, right, to connect with us on the LinkedIn, right? Yeah, we are more feel happy to connect. Okay. Yeah. Last but not least, So this is one of our courses, right? I shared before. We are about to launch with various universities from Hong Kong and Singapore. So this is about data analytics. So we got a ex-BCG, yeah, Boston Consulting data lead, and also currently working working in a technology company as a data scientist, right? To share with us for 4 weeks, for actually 5 weeks, right? Training session on data analytics. So currently we offer 50% discount code, right? If you are interested, you can scan the QR code here, or you can ask Eric for promotion. If you say, yeah, I just want a free thing, freebies, no worry. Yeah, we have a free trial. Yeah, so remember on January the 21st, so the week after, yeah, we will have a free trial, right? So if I know some of you are from business backgrounds, right? Not the data, but don't worry, right? So in this free trial session, no obligation, yeah, no string attached, don't worry, right? We will not force you to buy that. So you can just feel free to, it's a sharing session, right? It's more about for you, like how you can use Python to do the data processing, and how some of the SQL tasks, right, in reality, right, we can visualize the job, etc. It's an amazing part, right? So we've been chatting with the mentor for a long time, right? And for sure you will enjoy the session. It's a 1-hour free session. If you are interested, you can scan the QR code again to register. Maybe Eric can also share the link in the chat. So for if you are interested, you can go apply. Okay, so this is roughly my sharing. Yeah, so just about 1 hour. Yeah, if you have any question, I will stay here for another maybe 5 minutes. Yeah.
Anyone have question can unmute your mic or type in the chat box.
Yeah, just one more note to add, right? So seems easy, right? So all the strategy, the tips I shared, right? Maybe looks to many of you looks to you is common sense or whatever, right? But it really came down to practice, right? So on the one side, it's a theory, right? But on the other side, you have to really implement that, right? So that you can get a better results of that. Okay, so if no more question, so we can just stop here, right? So wish you all the best. Yeah, and if you have any question, just feel free to let us know. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony.
No problem. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So we are going to the next session. Is a culture exchange quiz. But don't worry, there's no penalty for this quiz, but students with the highest mark can get a one-on-one coaching session provided by Talent Link as a prize. So first, please access kahoot.it using your phone or tablet, and then enter the game pin, which I will show you later, and enter your surname. Then use your phone or tablet to answer the questions in 10 seconds. There are multiple choice questions and true and false questions. And I set 15 questions each for each city, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. So since the questions and answer will only share on my screen, on the screen I shared, So please use two devices, your computer to look at the question and your phone or tablet to answer the questions. If you have connection problems, please refresh your page, but do not close the page, and never close the page because it is treated as quitting the game, and all the marks will be lost. You cannot enter the game. So, do you have any question about the game? If no, I will show the game pin now. So our game pin is 2x6767. Please type your Zoom name so I can recognize you. Is there anybody haven't entered the game? Okay, the last call. Does anybody haven't entered the game yet? If not, I will start the game soon. There are only 11 participants in the game. I just saw someone just quit the game. Is there any problem? If there's a problem, please type in the chat or just unmute your mic. So I will wait for 10 more seconds. If no one enter again, I will start again. Okay, I will start. You have only 10 seconds to answer. Which is the tallest building in Shanghai? Oh, seems the majority choose the Shanghai World Financial Center. It was, but now is the Shanghai Tower is the tallest building in Shanghai, and also in China. It is also the second tallest building in the world. So let's see. Winnie is on the top. So next question. What is the height of Shanghai Tower? Correct. The height of Shanghai Tower is 633, and about 828 is the tallest tower in the world, which is in Dubai. Oh, Kehan is chasing up. So let's go to the next question. Shanghai is the largest city in the world in terms of bit. Population, correct. Okay, Kehan still keep his place in number 1. So let's guess, what is the permanent population in Shanghai 2018? It's 常住人口. Okay, 0. According to government statistics, the permanent population of Shanghai is 24.3 million. You may get some numbers which is greater than that counts the population that are not permanent residents in Shanghai. So no one is correct. Okay, let's go to true or false question. It should be easy. True. There's a dialect in Shanghai called Shanghainese. I guess everyone got correct. Well, can still keep its number 1 place. Okay, let's go to next question. This is also an easy question, doesn't it? Yes, 9 years. It includes 6 years of primary school and 3 years of middle school. High school doesn't count as the mandatory schooling in China. Oh, Qishuo is become the new number 1. So next question. Yes, TX. The 四大金江, the 4 variants of classic Shanghai breakfast includes seasoned pancake, 大饼, and 油条, fried curlers, and 吃饭, glutinous rice, and soy milk, 豆浆. Well, Wendy is changed, become next one, new 101. So which flower is official flower of Shanghai? I guess many of you know the Chinese name, but not the English name. So I hope you can make a guess. Oh, yes, the white Mongolia. And the white champaca is Bailanhua. And the right answer is Mongolia, which is called Baiyulan. Okay. Qishuo come back to the number 1. And true or false? Shanghai belongs to Jiangsu province. It should not be a difficult question. Okay. False. So Shanghai doesn't belong to any province. Shanghai is a municipality. Qishuo still keep its number 1 place, and Yichuan surpasses Yipjiatong. So, what is the existing oldest building in the band? It is a little difficult question. Yes, the former Consulate General of United Kingdom was built in 1949, and about the General Post Office building is built in 1940s. So it is not correct. So we can see when it should become the next only one. Okay, true or false? Shanghai Disneyland has the tallest castle Disney has built. It's true. So the castle, which is called Enchanted Storybook Castle, is the tallest Disney castle ever built. It's about 60 meters tall. So next question. Okay, Kehan, get back to the number 1 and keep going. There's a picture of the first escalator in Shanghai. Where is it located at? Department store. It might surprise you is in the department store. The department store is called the Shanghai number 1 department store, which was formerly known as Some Company and was one of the East Nanjing Road's big department store. Other department stores still exist. So if you have a chance to travel to Shanghai, just try the first escalator in Shanghai and also in China. Okay, Qishuo, congratulations, number 1 now. So true or false? Buildings in the picture are in Shanghai. It may surprise you, is true. There is a new town in Songjiang district of Shanghai called Town. It is the building that has a style that like the British style. Okay, Kehan, you back to the number 1. Okay. Duoyun bookstore, have anyone heard of that? Oh, no one is correct. And it's 239 meters. above the ground. That's the last question about Shanghai. What's the life expectancy of Shanghai people? So, according to the government statistics, in 2018 is 83.9. It's about 84 years. So okay. Okay, let's go to Hong Kong section. It's a multiple select question. Which 3 banks issue banknotes in Hong Kong? I give a hint, select 3 banks. Okay. I should set the time limit a little bit longer since many of you didn't answer the question. So 3 banks. The first one is Bank of China, the second bank is Standard Chartered, and it is HSBC. ICBC didn't issue banknotes in Hong Kong. So, I see Hong Kong as is coming out. Okay, true or false questions. Hong Kong uses seawater for toilet flushing. True or false? True. Wow, everyone got correct. Hong Kong is one of the few places extensively applies seawater for flushing since 1950s. The use of such tactics is to conserve fresh water since there's limited water resources at that time, and it saves about 20% of the total water supply in Hong Kong. So, yeah, Hong Kong, let's keep it up. Okay, next question. Hong Kong has the longest outdoor covered escalator system in the world. How long is it? 300 meters. So, when it comes to the longest, you may think about kilometers of long escalator, but it's not, it's just 800 meters. Okay, we can see Wendy become the number 2. So Tin Yun, keep going. Victoria Park is the biggest park in Hong Kong. True or false? False. Yes, Victoria Park is the biggest park in the Hong Kong island. But in Hong Kong, there's a bigger park in New Territories, which is Tai Po Waterfront Park, which has 22 hectares, and Victoria Park just 19 hectares. Whoa, Tin Yun. Keep going. You know much about Hong Kong, don't you? Okay, have a guess. Don't use your common sense. Have a guess. Oh, don't you think is a weak weapon when attacking rivals? Is so small. So this gun in Causeway Bay is called a noonday gun. It's a former naval gun. Is owned by Jardine Matheson. The gun is fired every day at noon and has become a tourist attraction. So if you have time, if you have a chance to go to Hong Kong, you can stay there at noon to see Okay. Next. What is the favorite dim sum of Hong Kong people? Oh. According to a survey conducted by Healthy D website, about 65% of respondents like Siu Mai. And if you are Hong Kong, you may see in Facebook there's a page which reviewing different Siu Mai in different restaurants. So I guess this proves that people in Hong Kong love Siu Mai very much. Okay. 天宇, well, you have you earn so much more. Okay, true or false question. I don't know whether you have go to see this booth. So have a guess. It's true. The largest outdoor bronze Buddha statue is in Kaohsiung, which is called the Fuguang Big Buddha. So I guess it's not a difficult question. Country Park covers about 8% of total area in Hong Kong. Since we talk about hiking so much, so what is the country? Oh, 40%. Yes, 40% of the land are country parks in Hong Kong. So we can see many of Hong Kong people go hiking or go camping. Okay, true or false question. Land of Hong Kong and mainland China are completely separated by river. True or false? False. The river there's a Shenzhen River in the border between Hong Kong and mainland China, but some part of the river are too shallow and it becomes the land after the Second World War. So the residents in China, in mainland China and Hong Kong, just set up their shops and to trade. It become the Zhongying Street, Zhongying Gai, as we know in Sha Dao Guang. So it's false. Okay, which reservoir in Hong Kong has the highest water capacity? Does this is common sense or not? Oh, I guess many of you know that. Okay, maybe I should not put the Chinese name there. Okay, wow. 七天日语, you have marked over 10,000. Okay. What year did Pig Train in Victoria Park become operational? It may be the oldest transportation in Hong Kong, I guess. Oh, yes, in 1888. Who guesses 1946 is too young for this old train? Okay. Which film star is born in Hong Kong? Okay, since many of you know. Bruce Lee is born in San Francisco. Brad Pitt is American, so he's definitely not born in Hong Kong. But Donnie Yen was born in Guangzhou. So Louis Koo is born in Hong Kong. So 4 of you got correct. Okay. True or false? Hong Kong Tramway is the only existing train system in the world that fully uses double-deck trains. I guess it's an easy question. It's true. Although there are some train systems who use double-deck trains, they are not fully use them. Some of them are single-deck. So Hong Kong Tramway is the only existing train system in the world that fully uses double-deck trains. Okay. Next. What common feature do ICC and IFC in Hong Kong have? Have a guess? Double-decker elevators. I guess this is a common feature for skyscrapers. Okay. Next question. It should be the last question about Hong Kong. So how many skyscrapers are in Hong Kong? $480. So according to Skyscraper Center, Skyscraper Center, Hong Kong has 480 skyscrapers. So 543. There are no, not many. So for those who have guessed 292, it is the number of skyscrapers in Shenzhen. Okay. How many offshore islands does Singapore have? Counting on the map doesn't help. Just give up. Have a guess? Okay. There are 63 offshore islands in Singapore. So most of them are inhabited and some of them are used for military use. Okay, since not many of you got correct. Which is the most popular Chinese surname in Singapore? Yes, it's my surname too, Chen. And the second most popular surname is Lin, and the third most popular surname is Li. Okay. True or false? Singapore is called the Lion City because there's a unique species of lions was discovered here. False. Actually, there is no lion in Singapore at first. So why Singapore is called Lion City? Because the former name of Singapore is Singapura, which means Lion City in Sanskrit language. So no lions in Singapore. Okay. Jiatu has 4 correct answers. Okay. So can he keep chasing up? So Changi Airport has the world's tallest indoor waterfall. How tall is it? 40 meters. It's just 40 meters. Don't be misled by my statement that the tallest indoor waterfall must be very tall. It's just 40 meters. Okay, not any of you get correct. Buildings in Singapore cannot be higher than 8 meters. Okay. Yes, 280 meters. Seems many of you know that. True or false? Singapore's national language is English. It's a very tricky question. Oh, I guess Singaporeans use English very much, so people may guess Singapore's national language is English, but it's not true. Singapore's national language is Malay, but Singapore has 4 official languages, which is English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. So English is just used as a common language between different races. Okay. Next question. How do you say hello, how are you in Malay? Does anybody know Malay? Hi, apa khabar? I do a research, I don't know do I pronounce it right? So many of you answer it right because the other options are very The first option is French, the second option is Estonian, the third question is English. So many of you got correct. So, what is Singapore's motto? Do you think I will put the answer in the picture? Oh, so Singapore's motto is also Malay. Is Majulah Singapura, which means onward Singapore in Malay. So what about the passion made possible is a tagline from Singapore tourism branding. So don't mix them up. Okay, next. What do the 5 stars in the Singapore flag represent? S means democracy, peace, progress, justice, and equality. So, many of you got correct. Okay, Zizhuo is chasing up. True or false? In Singapore, you are not allowed to drink alcohol in public after 10:30 p.m. It's true. Also, you cannot. Also, stores are not allowed to sell alcohol drinks after 10:30 p.m. to the 7:30 a.m. until next day. But there are designated places for you to drink alcohol after 10:30 p.m. Okay. Next, the lowest record temperature in Singapore was 8 degrees Celsius. I'm so envy about how warm Singapore is. Yes, it's 90 degrees Celsius. So anyone want to move to Singapore because right now in Hong Kong, the temperature is about 10 degrees Celsius only. I guess it's much colder in Shanghai. So anyone can share about what's the weather here in your place. Okay, what percent of land in Singapore is reclaimed land? %25% is about 1/4 of the land is reclaimed. And I do the mathematics right? 25%, yes. Okay. Okay, not much of you get correct. True or false? Singapore is the most densely populated country in the world. It's similar to the question in day 2, but it's a different answer. So Singapore is the 3rd most densely populated country in the world. The most densely populated country in the world is Monaco in southern France. It's also a city-state, so there are many people are populated. Okay. Okay, if we consider Macau is one of the country or region, so Macau is the 2nd most densely populated region. So Singapore is only 3rd. Okay. The last 2 questions. What is the national day of Singapore? Singaporeans, you should know the answer. Yes, 9th of August. It is the day where Singapore gained independence from Malaysia. Ooh. If Jiatong, you just have 9 marks to go to become the number 1. Okay, last question. Who is the president of Singapore? There are 2 leaders in Singapore. The first one is president, which is just a figurehead of the country. It served as a, how do I say? It's like the Queen in the UK. They don't have much power. The top leader who has the power is the Prime Minister, which the Prime Minister of Singapore is Lee Hsien Loong, and so it may mislead you. There are 2 top leaders in Singapore. So the president of Singapore now is Halima Yacob. Did I pronounce it right? I don't know. Okay, so let's see the result. The second one is Qishor. Congratulations. The first one now is Qin Yu. Okay. The champion is Jiatong. Congratulations. You can get the one-on-one coaching session. Okay. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Close the Okay. So after again, let's go to the next section, the closing ceremony. So in this ceremony, I would like to make an announcement. So The certificate of Global Youth Venture will be sent to your email in the next week. So I will make a summary of what we have done in these 5 days. So in these 5 days, we have talked with different people from different industries and regions. So my most favorite speaker is the third day, the Lin speaker in the session. Because she has many experience in different industry, and she has the courage to step out of her comfort zone. So I'm very amazed by his courage. So we have also have different workshops which learn about how to improve our soft skills, about the SDGs, which is Sustainable Development Goals, and also we have workshops about how to improve our soft skills. For example, how to build our personal brand, and also how to do well in public speaking. We also have play some games to know more of each other, and also cultures in different cities. So I believe it is very first time for us to join an exchange program in this format. Although we can not see each other in face-to-face, but I hope we can gain precious experience and information in this program, which is useful for our future. So before the ceremony ends, I would like to take a good photo. Is Eric helping? Just to take a good photo, I don't know how to.
You can just stop sharing the screen.
Oh, okay.
So they ask to open the video. Okay. Just for the memory. So I hope that everyone can open their video. So we can just make a screenshot now. So you can every time you are still close to the video. So I hope everyone can just open. So yeah, okay. I'll take the screenshot. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, never mind. You can try to think about some gestures or maybe make it so serious. Just relax.
Maybe just this.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. You can.
Wait. Maybe 来继续说。
Because
okay.
Come to our last day of the program, so I hope that each one can remember your face.
Okay.
And
just
have,
a little hot.
Okay. I listen to you. You are the MC for today. You are in charge.
Okay. Okay. I decide.
Where? I just make a screenshot. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So everyone will keep in touch while linking or any WeChat or WhatsApp group, so we can help and see each other.
Yeah.
In the future.
Okay.
Then bye. I will contact you via email or maybe message. You just wait for my message for the certification and other stuff.